Hi guys, Space Tiger here, and welcome to Pick a Card reading that got suggested by a friend of mine. So thank you so much for the suggestion. And yeah, she asked me if it would be possible to maybe do an inner child messages. So we were kind of like talking, and I was like, yeah, I feel that's a very good idea to kind of like turn into your internal world and see what your inner child has to tell you. So, yeah, it's a very lovely idea, but since it's like there's a lot of people out there, I thought maybe pick a card would be better. So, focus on the colors that are kind of like drawing you in, and the stones. Maybe you'll pick two piles, maybe you'll listen for all three, but just like kind of focus a little bit on it and see which of the three piles are kind of like drawing you in. So here we have pile number one, um, pile number two, and pile number three. We have malachite, two light, I think it's called in English, and we have blue lace agate here. So like all stones that kind of like correspond to either heart chakra or throat chakra, which I think like a lot of these like things we are basically holding in these two chakras, especially heart chakra, like all this like inner work. So I think these are kind of a good match. We're also having here like a basic Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and here underneath these piles we have like different tarot or oracle decks that will help us go a little bit deeper in. Okay, so if you want, you can pause this video, pick your pile. You can find the timestamps in the description of this video. I will also put them at some point in the comment section so you can access them there. And yeah, that's it. Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna pause the video and put pile one, and then we're gonna start with the rest. Okay, hello my pile number one with the beautiful blue lace agate. Here we have your little pile, so we're gonna check what we have here. So let's see. Okay, so here we have the card called Psychic. I'm gonna translate this to you. So we have Psychic, then we have the Explorer. This is a card that we got today as a message for someone, and very interesting because again here we have this story about Odin sacrificing his eye, and it's like somebody who explores like the inner worlds, the outer world, something that's like beyond the realm. And here we have a psychic. So basically this story kind of corresponds in this archetype of Odin sacrificing his sight, his left eye, to gain wisdom and clarity. It's very kind of like cool for this pile, and especially very wise since we're talking about the inner child and what inner child wants to tell you. Here we have Scorpio. So let's see what else we have. Here we have Black Cohosh. I probably butchered that name, but anyway, read it here. Thank you. Anyway, this is a very interesting plant that talks about like also inner worlds, realms, dimensions. So this is gonna also be interesting. And here we have the Knight of Wands, and we have the World card. So I already see like very interesting. I'm gonna put this a little bit more to the side. We're gonna deal with this later. First we're gonna talk about this, and then we're gonna pull something extra. But yeah, let's go into this story. Do you see all of them? Okay, cool. Okay, so oops. So here again, let's start with like our archetype of like a seer. So this card talks about like exploring and kind of like going through the changes by like daily dreaming. And also this card like represents the third eye chakra. So it kind of invites, like, your inner child wants to invite you to kind of like accept your talents and gifts by integrating your intuition and reason, and giving other people some really valid insights, and some wisdom that you have on the inside, and also like supporting people. But also the shadow side of this is like, what happens when you get frustrated by, like, by something that you noticed, and but you really want to communicate it with people, so you're kind of pushing your like insights to other people, and nobody asked you for it. And this is like where the, let's say, where the problem starts. So, like, here we also have like a question, like, do you like take your insights like so seriously, and they're like so important that you need to tell them to everyone, whether somebody asked you or whether they're ready to receive your inner wisdom? So this is like a little bit like ego play, where you're like, hey, but I see that you're like maybe going to fail in something, so I need to tell you, or I see that you're maybe making a mistake, and because I feel that it's like a mistake, so you push your kind of like opinion to somebody, and somebody didn't ask for it because they weren't ready. And maybe you're right, like you see something in people and you're right, but still like pushing this. This is like, again, with these two cards, we talk a little bit like your inner child wants to tell you that because of the ego, you're wasting your potential and your wisdom and your insights, your like beautiful insights, and this beautiful deep wisdom and kind of intuition, on wanting to be heard and wanting to be right, and kind of like maybe having like this like with this card, it kind of invites like some attention to like fears over relationships. And when I say fear of relationships, I mean like all the relationships that we have, with other people, whether it's like our friends, our dear ones, our partner, like, and you see and you want to help, and like you have this like sensitivity, and you're pulling something from some other realm, and you want to like say something, but a lot of times you feel like you're censored, or you feel like nobody's truly listening to you. And this is really amazing with this, that everything like came out with this stone, because blue lace agate talks about opened throat chakra. So we have like this combination between the third eye and the throat chakra, like trying to kind of like this insights and these visions that we have, trying to like transmute them into words that are kind of respectful also, but not too aggressive, because again here we have this knight of wands. There is something with these two cards that's getting now, and I got very like like kind of like happy all of a sudden, like a little bit cheeky in a way, because look, with with the knight of wands, a lot of humor comes in. And also we have like this story about Odin. And like Odin is a god that's a little bit cheeky, so this is like your inner child wants to tell you that like sometimes insights and all these things that you perceive like very very like how to say, like very seriously, like these are serious matters, you want to help people and all of that, that you should maybe have like a more humor approach to the situation. Maybe like maybe through like jokes and fun, or like some funny stories or something, you can convey like your messages and your insights and your wisdom and your intuition, so it doesn't have to be like a like a grave message, like like this will affect your life. No, like you can do it through humor with this childlike energy, like you know so kind of, and exploring, maybe instead of like thinking about it through fear and through like this very like heavy seriousness, maybe you can go like exploring, like, hey, like asking questions, like, hey, like I was thinking, when I see you looking when I see you doing this and that, and a question popped in my mind, like, how come you do it that way? And then the person starts talking, well, I kind of had this thought, or I don't know, I had insecurity and blah blah. And then you can say, hey, you know what, like, I don't know, like, because like what I'm seeing, what you're doing kind of made me think, like, maybe you can do it this way, you know. And like kind of having this much more like friendlier approach than like it's all doom and gloom, and the person that you care for will kind of like, excuse my language, like f up everything, you know. So kind of making this like, making this kind of like like taking it with this card, like with the world card, like taking it all together and shaping it into this like creation where you take the wisdom but you also take the humor inside, and you kind of like put it in this like force, you know, that's very helpful, you know, and where you think more about the other than you think about like yourself and how wise you need to be. Because you know, like our inner child, you know, maybe as a kid, like you were like super smart, and you know, you noticed a lot of things, and you had like this crazy intuition, because kids are so beautifully like intuitive and intelligent and everything. And then maybe, you know, you got stopped because somebody would say like, hey kid, what do you know? And so this moment for you became very stressful, and you were like, yeah, but I have so much to like to say and what I see, and it doesn't have nothing to do with age, you know. It's like intelligence and like noticing things, but like you were dismissed for what you had to say. So now, as you're grown up, it became a lot more like some sort of law, you know, or like you need to like push it through so that people hear you. So you need to be like loud or aggressive, or you get like a little bit, I would even say maybe offended if somebody's not listening to you, because you do have this knowledge. So you get like all snarky, and you get like all like kind of on your high horse, like, I don't know, like you say stuff is like, I have experience in this, like I know what I'm saying and you should listen to me, you know. Because again, when we are kids and you say something very wise beyond your years, they tend not to listen to you. It kind of like creeps them out in a way. So, you know, your inner child is trying to tell you like, this is like, it's coming to an end. You're coming into a place where you understand that, you know, even sometimes, even if you notice something, not everything is your fight, and yeah, you can help, but sometimes you need to ask if for permission, if the person wants to know what you have to say. And if they don't, it's okay. Oh, we have Ace of Cups. If you know, like, if they don't, it's okay, you know. Like, you ask for permission, so it's all cool. It doesn't have nothing to do with you. It has to do everything with them. So try not to be like offended if somebody doesn't receive your insight or your wisdom, you know. Don't be offended by that. Or even if you say something like, you know, don't expect people to take it as it is, you know. But give yourself a permission to, you know, say what you need to say, and that's it. Like, you're a messenger, you know. You're somebody who sees things. But like, as a person who's like doing tarot, like a lot of times I know that the message that I'm giving to you, I'm not responsible for how you will receive this message, and for sure I'm not responsible on how you will emotionally be either triggered, or how you will react to that's your own, you know. I'm just like, there's like a nice line, but with this like with this Scorpio, we want to kind of like penetrate and change from the inside, which unfortunately it's not always possible, you know. It's not, it's like a taboo to get into like somebody's energy and try to manipulate it and change it because you see that something could be good, you know. So this is like calling us for like a little humbling experience, you know, to like, hey, to ask yourself, and who are you to be responsible for somebody else's life by like giving them this information and insisting that they take this information as it is. So instead of like conditioning everybody else, and by that conditioning yourself, liberate yourself, say the message, let it be free, and that's it. That's what you needed to do, you know? So don't get emotionally attached to what you see and the messages you need to convey. Just like let them fly out, and that's it. They will land where they need to land. It's like, you know how like trees when they lose the fruits, you know? It's like like the tree is not concerned where if all the seeds will like grow. Like the tree lets the seeds, and that's it. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, so I basically asked the tarot while saying this, like in what dimension this goes for you guys, where this inner child is kind of like asking you to liberate it, and it is the social setting. So this is like, you know, friendships, relationships, when you see that something is like changing for a person, you know, there's like a cycle that's being that's beginning or ending, is when like these messages come in. And this is like the Wheel of Fortune is almost like the small world, because here we have something that's growing and then it's gonna be liberated in the world card. And we have like these four fixed signs, or for evangelists, you know, kind of like keeping the structure. And this is like a good message, because like, and here like with these two cards, they now we have like four of cups basically here, and here we have like four of the fixed corners. So it's kind of like inviting you to, you know, to think about like, hey, you know, even in like a structure setting, there is always like a change. So change will always happen for everyone, even for you. And even though you have like this really quick radar when you see this change, you know, it doesn't mean that something needs to be like done immediately. Instead, you know, liberating this, celebrating. And also, I love with this card, there's a story about these like graces. And Austin Coppock, an amazing astrologer, talks about this as the cheerleaders or party girls of the gods. So they were kind of like going behind, like they were going like in the name of the gods, and like celebrating them, and like cheering, and you know, like representing their like glory and things of that matter. So, and here with these two cards, so again, I'm returning you back, like your inner child wants to tell you, dude or dudette or whatever you are a vessel of, you know, universe. So as a vessel, it is not in your ego to say something and then be celebrated as a god, you know, or a goddess, because you're human. And even though you have this amazing ability to see things, you don't need to be celebrated for that. And this is like a moment for our ego to understand, and we all have this in life. Like, sometimes you're just a funnel. Sometimes you're just a microphone, you're just a speaker, and something gets out of you and changes things. But it's not like, it's not that you did it. You know, whatever we have rarely comes from us, and it comes from this like higher type of intelligence. So if you keep that in mind, your inner child will finally find the satisfaction in just like sharing whatever it sees, without kind of getting attached, because the adults are getting attached to a feedback, thank yous, validations, and things of that matter. So your inner child says, just like sing, you know, sing, say whatever you see, ask for permission, change it, you know, like put it through humor, notice, explore, be curious, instead of insisting on thank yous and gratitudes, and like people doing what you said because you said it, because you see that if this isn't applied, it's not going to end up well for somebody. So keep that in mind, and then your speech and your throat chakra will be liberated, and free to like speak, and you will speak as you should speak, not through the lens, through the speaker of ego, but through the speaker of the universe. So yeah, this was really beautiful message. my pile number 1. I hope it resonates with you. And yeah, take care. And now we're going to pile 2. Welcome to pile number 2, guys. Yeah, we just did pile number 1. Very interesting message. I'm really looking forward to see what's gonna go here. So yeah, let's open your cards. So here we have your archetype, which is Mother. Okay. So we have Mother, Cancer. We have the Spirit of the Depths. So this is like also here we have like this feminine figure with like these snakes, you know. So this is also very, very interesting card. Here we have Borage. I hope I said the name of this plant properly. I really do hope. If not, yeah, this is a fairly new deck, and it has like names of the plants that are not close to my native language. So yeah, I need to like study it further. Also, we have Queen of Swords, and we have Two of Pentacles. So this is a very interesting pile. Also, I love the color coding. Like, it's amazing. Like, these cards, man. Okay, so let's start with your archetype first. So we got Mother, and this is a card like with like Cancer energy. So it says, with great patience and strength, I exist for the ones that I love. So this is like a very kind of like how to say, a very warrior energy, you know, like this mother who takes care of everyone. She's kind, she's brave, she's courageous, she will protect you. But here also we have like this moment of, and like looking at this card, like this really goes like this, like mother that's very protective. So is my relationship and care towards other people like kind of like obsessive? Am I, if I'm missing like this patient, is it turning into like being thick-headed, you know, and insisting on my own way? Am I afraid of my creativity? And here we have like I'm getting to a full connection with planet Earth and motherly energy. So these are the questions that we have like also here in this card and here in this card, where like somebody who's a mother, somebody who's like a feminine like feminine archetype turns into like somebody who is very cold and just like, you know, it's only concerned with, you know, rules and care and, you know, regulations and how to avoid unnecessary things, you know, like, I don't know, pain or fear. So like taking care of people in this way where, you know, you are the mother and you need to be listened to. So what I'm getting from this, like from this pile, maybe some of you have a problem with a mother that was like overly controlling, and she was trying to compensate like her care with like set of rules, you know, and with talking instead of like showing like emotional support. You know, sometimes people who love too hard, they have this like problem where their emotions are so big that they need to put them aside, you know, in order to take care of you. So again, I'm like, what I'm seeing here is like, oh hey, maybe like some of you had this like, you know, problem with your mother, and so your inner child is like trying to like kind of copy that and kind of compensate that by showing to people that how what type of like love you need, which is like this care and this like gentleness and a lot of like emotional support and neediness that you didn't get, and you don't know how to communicate it, so you're showing it. And it's like, again, with the Spirit of the Depths, like this card talks about like a fear of failure, you know, like it talks about going deep into like some moments. So it's like a very interesting card, very, how to say, like very intense card. So there's a quote for this card, and I'm gonna read it to you. So it says, "The abyss is the path of those who seek the light." So it's like listening to the soul more than just like meaningless words. It's like if we stay without, like, let's say somebody comes and takes all the rules and like laws and conventions, and there is nothing left but the soul, but like the humanity, how you will, how you will treat people, you know what is this love that like that it's like the love and also the courage and being like here for everyone, and having like, even I'm what I'm getting is like, having decisions for other people. So it's like going like deep into these needs that are sometimes even scary, and like knowing how to communicate them. Here also we have like this like chaos, and there's like a bird, like bird that's kind of like protecting its egg. And sometimes this like this protection kind of like you're like, you have so much problems of letting go and trusting yourself and mothering yourself. And it kind of like, it brings this fear of failure. That's what I'm getting here strongly with this group. It's like this fear of failure, fear that if you don't show love, and if you don't mother everyone, then nobody will take care of you. So it's like this really big, what I'm getting here is like a really big compensation of like trying to hold everything together, to defend, to like, yeah, being like a people pleaser, and doing everything because you're afraid that if you start mothering yourself, if you start showing this for yourself, everybody else will leave. So it's like sometimes maybe some of you feel selfish, and your inner child is like, hey, I need you, you know, I don't need somebody else. I don't need my partner. I don't need my 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 biological mother. I don't need my, like, whatever people you have that are kind of like your comfort zone, like your best friends or whatever, your brothers, sisters, whomever. Like, I need myself for myself. You know, I need I need this, like, I need less of this like coldness, and being afraid that if I drop one, everything else will fall. Like, this is like juggling, like, okay, you're juggling, like, I don't know, your parents, then you're juggling this, then you're juggling your work, blah blah blah. Like, you're here for everyone, you're like carrying everything in your hands, and you just like you're like forgetting, hey, like, hey, did I eat today? Did I went to the bathroom today? What did I do today? Did I do something for myself? No, you're just like, your focus is always on the outside. So your inner child is like saying, hey, I need you to take care of you. I need you to take care of me. You know, take care of me. I'm the inner child here. Take care of me. So, oh, something fell. So it's like, this like moment where it's almost like really intense into what is this happening, because it's like this, like a little, like inner child cry for somebody to take care of it for once in their life. So again, with this card, it also talks about forgiveness, having like the courage to forgive to somebody. Again, I'm saying like maybe some of you had like problems with your parents, so it's now time to like forgive your parents, because they did what they did, and they did like the best that they knew, especially if you had like a mother that was a little bit detached. And you know and kind of like take this like medicine, like sweet medicine of like forgiveness, and give it to yourself, like say, okay, like I see like all the maybe faults of like what my mother did, or my this motherly figure. So I know that I can do better because I know myself, so I can take better care of myself. Okay, let's see what the tarot has to say. Yeah, moving on. Great. We even pile one even had this card, so this is really cool. Okay, so yeah, look, like leave whatever like comfort zones you had, and just like, this is like a, maybe like for some of you this is like a big moment in your life where you just need to like put a new foundation for yourself, and just like, like go and meet yourself, because this is like something, this is a change where you really need to go through this. And this is also very interesting because this is a Cancerian card, this is a Cancerian card. We have like a lot of like mother energy here, a lot of like this, like leaving certain things and saying goodbye to certain things, and kind of like forgiving. So yeah, this is a really great message, pile 2. Like now it's time to leave whatever it was, whatever home it was, home situation is what I'm getting, whatever it was, just leave it and continue, like, because there are a lot of new things coming your way. And also with this card we have like maybe this breaking of like this karmic cycle inside of the family, maybe taking care of yourself will break some of the maybe toxic traits that your family had. So yeah, like congratulations. I mean, this is really a big work, but whatever you do, like be a mother to yourself, like tend to your own needs. What do you need? Like, do you need comfort? Do you need food? Ask for it. Learn how to ask people and tell them like, hey, can I get like some attention? Like, can you help me with this? That's what it means to be a mother to yourself. Like when you need something, pull the adult in, like inside of you, and say, hey, can you help me with this today? Or, hey, can you cook maybe something for me? Like I really cannot do something today, so, or I don't know, I'm out of strength, or blah blah blah, whatever. And like ask people. People will love to help you, but like expecting and showing people, like by doing these acts of services, that somebody will say, oh my god, let me do this for you, very rare. Very rare. And it just brings more and more frustration. Like, I'm doing everything for everyone, I'm mothering everyone, I'm doing, and then we're turning into this like these like TV show mothers who are like, I'm doing everything around here and nobody's helping me. And then somebody comes to help and she's like, get out of my kitchen. Because like, because of the reaction she had, then everybody like started out of fear helping her, instead of saying, hey, can you help me? Can you today take care of me? Or say to somebody like, hey, today I don't have time for you, I only have time for myself, or I'm gonna focus on myself, I'm gonna do something nice for myself. So pile number 2, yeah, like try to do like what's best for you, because then you have enough to share with everyone else. And don't be afraid of like, maybe dropping some people, or dropping things. Like, you don't have to do everything, like, come on, you know so yeah, be kind, be gentle to yourself, and yeah, enjoy. Good work, I'm proud of you. Hello, pile number 3. Okay, we did the first and the second pile. It was very interesting messages, completely different from one another, and I really love this. So I'm really enjoying this. Big thanks to my friend who came up with the idea. Okay, let's see what's up for the pile 3. I'm like fa 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 fa. So here we have malachite again, an amazing stone of change. So let's see what you're gonna change. I'm gonna check your archetype first. So here we have like how to translate this. Come on, Google Translate. Okay, so posrednik is like somebody who's like helping people or bridging people. Like, and also here we have Libra. So this is like somebody who's like a friend of a friend. I need to find this word. Wait. Okay, so the word is mediator. I had to do a quick Google search. Okay, then we have the fame. Okay, this is very interesting. I like this. So we have the fame. We have willow, and we have knight of cups, and we have king of wands. So, okay. I also love the color coding here. I don't know, like these cards are so aesthetically pleasing. It's amazing. We're gonna do a little bit like here also. Okay, so this is very interesting. So these two cards, very interesting. If I didn't mention that they're very interesting, now you know. Anyway, so again, we have this like mediator that's like helping people. So it says, I'm helping people to see the visible and invisible, the conscious and the unconscious, the physical and the spiritual world, which is really interesting with this fame. We're going to talk about this kind of like spirit. It says that you're looking at the situations from like multiple sides, and through like clear guidance of the higher higher I or me or intuition, you find like um how to help people basically, you know. So you're having like these solutions for whatever people are in. So but there is like, and with this fame we're now getting to this like juicy part, and also with the Knight of Cups, but we're just gonna like really beautifully tie everything together. So is my wisdom and my insights an illusion? Can I trust my insights? Am I ignoring my inner voice? Okay, so here we have like an energy that's kind of like calling in some falsehood. Because sometimes we are like the good guy so that we can get the fame. And your inner child is saying like, okay, maybe you weren't like the most popular person, when you were growing up, or you come from like a household where you needed to be like a mediator because I don't know, there was maybe a lot of tension in the house, or maybe conflict. So you kind of like you wanted this conflict to be avoided at all costs, and then because of like how successful you were by like taming, the tensions and everything, you kind of got a little bit, in your head about it. And this is like this, kind of ego moment where we're so into everybody's stuff and we're so trying to be like helpful and everything that like sometimes we even over exaggerate what we do and how we say and how we speak. We're like, it's almost like the example that's coming to my head is like, yeah, they stayed in a relationship because of me, because I helped them to see something. So it's like a very egoistic Libra, I see something. And again, this is like it falls in like the third eye category. So it's like I see something or I have a vision of something, and then me, the mediator, the famous mediator, I come in and I share my wisdom and my insight, and I help people by that. And that's where you feel like very kind of important in a way. So this in like this archetype talks about like the speaking monster called Fadi, who is like the public voice. And like he's born from like insecurity. It kind of like it scatters around itself, and it scatters around in equal measure, like the truth, the falsehood, and the slander. So this can even be you, maybe because you want to be liked and loved and whatever. Maybe you will even gossip. Maybe you will even go that far, and you're gonna be like, oh, do you know like but like, who am I to judge? And so it's like having this ego like thingy, and wanting to kind of like survive. So it's almost like your inner child got this like coping mechanism of like, I'm the good guy, I've always been the good guy, why don't they love me? And in order to love me, I need to have certain fame. I need to be on top of the assignment, I need to be like this, you know kind of like have like this wisdom and the authority to be liked and loved and be wise. So again, it's kind of like very very maybe out of this wound and pain of maybe not being heard when you were a kid, or maybe not being a part of the group. You became a mediator to be the part of the group. You became this, because king of wands is sometimes perceived as a guru. So it's like, oh, you are the wise friend that everybody comes to talk to, and they, you know, you help them, and they're very grateful for you, and then you feel like very satisfied with yourself. You feel like you're the part of the group, you know. Now I'm like, because Libra likes to be in a couple, so maybe like you're even, you know, maybe in a relationships too, like maybe you're like, you want to be the best partner that they had, so you will go and you will maybe slander their exes and show how good you are, and how like, I don't know, wise you are and hopeful and balanced. You know, you want to be famous in that matter, that everybody talks how good you are. So, you know, it's something to think about, like what is this wound that's kind of like pushing you into this monster, you know, of public speaking. So with the willow, it talks about washing these things away. So, and why? So, you know, like again, here we have Malachi that talks about heart chakra. So, what happens is like sometimes the words that we speak can bring also illness to us. Can make like, you know, what passes through the gate of the heart, and if it doesn't pass through, if it's like stuck somewhere, it can cause like some discomfort, you know, in the body. um it's like, you know, it can maybe bring us like even to the point of argument with people, you know. So this brings like this like heat. um so, you know, Willow talks about releasing this need to be somebody who's always helpful to people by speaking and by sharing their wisdom, and maybe, you know, maybe washing away this ego and letting like this inner child speak truly and make true friendships and make true relationships, instead of like fashioning something with words. So yeah, it's like it's almost like, you know, you're afraid to be yourself, so you need to like, I don't know, you need to like morph yourself into what's needed. And, you know, with this fame, and also with the Knight of Cups, it's like, you know, losing this sense of self because you want to be heard and liked by the others and be the part of the brand, be the part of the clique, be the part of like this, you know, like whatever you want to be a part of, you know. So yeah, it's time with this Willow card. It's like time to like wash this all away and see who you truly are. Who are you? You know, who are you? Can you make decisions on your own? You know, we're talking now about Libra. Can you make decisions on your own? Do you always need to be like a part of the group? Do you always need to be a part of something? So this is like a primordial fear of death, because if we're not like in this like tribe, then if something happens, you know, oh shit, like I might, you know, like something might happen to me because I don't have this group to take care of me. So I need to take care of the group, and I need to be like this, you know, like this little, you know, like little mediator who's like trying to keep it all together, because maybe as a child you needed to take care of your whole family and keep it together, so that they don't, you know, like this sometimes happens to children whose parents are divorced, you know. So you're like trying to kind of like bring everything together so that the structure stays. Let's see what the tarot has to say to us. I mean, this is really interesting like message. Okay, so we have Hermit, and this card, like for some reason, this card really reminded me of the Hermit. You know, like with this cape and with this like little light, and also here we have this guru moment, like, you know, somebody who's like showing their light. So again, with the Hermit card, it's like, dude, you don't need to like mediate everyone. You just need to like take your path, and then maybe people will learn something from your example, and not by like you kind of like, you know, being like a lawyer of the group, or, you know, trying to mend things together and trying to piece everything together. So just like show by your example like how it can be done, you know, and not by like going into like gossiping or trying to get like informations out of the people. Just like, and even with Hermit, maybe it would be good for you to like remove yourself altogether. So maybe your inner child is like, hey, can you just like take me out of this, like, you know, kindergarten, and just let me explore on my own. I don't always have to have like people around, you know, being like some guiding light, you know, being like this like friend, being a lover, being in a couple, always being like with some, because again, this is like a fear of Libra, like like how can I function on my own? Like I'm the scales. I need to have like a counterbalance. I need to be in a way used, you know, like I don't mean like you need to be used by people, but like you need to have a purpose and a mission. Otherwise, like, what am I here for? So this is very interesting. Let's pull two other cards. Yeah, this is like a pure, like this is a pure Aries like energy. And now like even we have like a south and north node in this axis of Libra and Aries, where it's like teaching you like, okay, some relationships are good because they kind of like, they give you like this freedom to speak, to move, to, you know, go and find your own. I'm getting like this song, like you should go your own way. So it's like, okay, like yeah, like finding your path, you know, like you don't need to have like others to mediate, to find yourself, you know, to find your purpose. So this is like a, your inner child is like, hey, can we go and find our purpose, and then be wise about it, you know, find our niche. What am I good, you know, at? What is my path? Where do I go? So with this full card, this is like definitely like a new beginning, but also like this is like something wise, you know, like going on purpose into maybe solitude, not to be lonely, but to find yourself, you know, who are you? So let's see. Yeah, yeah, and evolving, like emotionally removing yourself from this, like the whole society that you're in. So and emotionally maturing, because all three of them are far away from everybody else, seeking their wisdom, seeking their passion, and what they came to do here on this planet, you know, without like micromanaging everything, you know, and getting into this like like liberating your heart and getting into this emotional neutrality and the place of clarity, where you can really see what you're made for. So I don't know, guys, this is really, there's like a lot of water here. So like think about like how you can like wash all of this, you know, how to release, you know, if you release people, they will come back to you, they will ask you. But if you're like always there, like micromanaging something, you know, and always in somebody's, like with your nose in somebody's business, you know, it's not healthy for you. You know, your inner child wants to know who they are, not that they're like a servant of the people, you know. So yeah, guys, this is message for pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, that's it. I don't know what to say, but yeah, thank you so much for giving me space to do this. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, send it to a friend, maybe they will benefit from this message or piles. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. Bye bye.